Future Lawrence is like, past Lawrence is
New
ass.
Inside Gaming character.
Are you going to throw up right now?
No, I'm gonna burp.
Jeez.
I got the burps.
What's wrong with you?
Did you already set
That's
this?
what I do, man. First farts, I burp. I don't like it any more than anyone else. Welcome. Oh, yeah.
No one can see that.
I'll tag it down.
But you'd probably feel uncomfortable.
Thanks.
All right,
Welcome
go.
to the Inside Gaming Podcast, episode 44 for January. Man, hold on a minute.
These
January
dates are-
29th,
These are hard for you.
2015. Dates, they're rough.
It's up there.
Yeah, that's what I name it that, and then I forget I named it that.
Oh, Lawrence.
Adam,
Hi.
what's your first memory of working for Machinima?
Oh boy, first memory.
That's a good question.
So the Machinima office used to be in Culver City on the west side, across from an Islands. You know what an Islands is?
I do. A hamburger joint.
Tropical burgers, mudslides, and fake palm trees.
I remember going there for my. Oh wait, so you want to say like my first time ever interacting with Machinima?
Damn it. Hold on.
What's going on over there?
He's trying to get the cursor off.
It drives me insane.
Anyway, it was interviewing at the old office. I met who used to be the president of the company at the time, and he was like, "Baby, I'm gonna make you a star." Basically said that.
Baby?
Not really. He didn't call me baby, but he practically said.
Did he have like a gold chain and a lot of chest hair?
Kind of.
I met him, I remember.
Yeah, Phil was a cool dude. Anyway, yeah, that's my oldest memory.
Cool. Well, this episode of the Inside Gaming Podcast is brought to you by a fantastic Smash mobile game, Blood Brothers 2. I lied. I don't know if it's fantastic or a Smash. Actually, it's fantastic. I played it.
Isn't it a Smash?
I don't know about smashing yet.
Oh, okay.
Blood Brothers 2, this is the copy by the way. Blood Brothers 2 is an action-packed dark fantasy role-playing game available now for free on Apple and Android devices. It is an immersive game that allows you to experience a deep RPG set in Arnashia, a world which has been thrown to a state of chaos and war. Has amazing art style, storytelling, and RPG mechanics that set Blood Brothers 2 apart from RPG mobile games. Check out bloodbrothers2.com, that's the number 2, for more information, and visit the App Store or Google Play now to download Blood Brothers for free.
Brothers
Almost
2.
got there.
Almost got there.
Blood
Almost got
Brothers
there.
You almost got
2.
there.
That last hurdle, man, just stumbling right through the fence.
Alliteration is the best and worst thing in the
I
world.
should have picked a number that starts with a B.
Real quick, we're playing Resident Evil, the remake, and I think it's sacrilege that they got rid of the badass live action
Yeah.
intros from the
They got rid of that on the GameCube version.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what
This
this
is
is,
the
right?
GameCube version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's dumb. Skip.
Jeez, calm
Yeah,
down.
you
can't
definitely
skip.
want those live action,
Oh.
because they were showing the dogs like getting shot, and it was just a squib going off on a terrible. Yeah.
I just remember Wesker looked like Val Kilmer in his
You bet
better
he did.
days. Yeah.
Fat Val Kilmer?
Not- no,
Take his
no.
glasses off. Wesker.
Yeah, well, he's at night.
Wesker.
It's at night and he's wearing aviators. Like, I can't see the dogs. Like, yeah, no shit, man.
All right. Well, moving on. Let's discuss some things.
Uh-huh.
First of all, let's talk about DRM.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, fuck it. Let's deal with the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we don't get a lot of questions. Yes, we are leaving Machinima. No, we can't really say much more than that. We can't say that we're very grateful for our time at Machinima and grateful for you guys, the audience.
Yeah, I mean, Inside Gaming wouldn't exist if Machinima didn't take a chance on me,
No.
a young kid, and
Eager to please.
I mean, I remember fighting really hard to change it from Inside Halo to Inside Gaming, and they said yes. And this was, it was a show created here as I was an employee. So it's not like I, own it or anything like that, but I'm just glad I got the opportunity to work on it and change it as many times as we had. And I think this crew here, we've gone through many iterations, but this is definitely the most stable. You guys are assholes.
Ew.
This is the most stable crew, hardest working crew I've ever worked with. So I'm very grateful for that.
I have a weird question. How did you do a new show about only Halo for weeks?
Wasn't easy, man.
Inside Halo.
Breaking news.
It was
Halo.
There's a pistol.
There's a game
Screenshot
still.
of
You could
the
shoot a
map.
pistol.
so at the time. So
grass.
this was when Halo 3 was the shit, and
Still is, bro.
Okay. Well, that was the hot
that's a
ticket.
joke.
It was like, shut up. But things like ODST and stuff, by the time I think ODST came out, we're out of news. We did
yeah,
the show for,
how many shows did you do? Do you remember?
I want to say it was 30 episodes.
Holy shit.
But
good
then,
job.
Halo Marathon this weekend.
but then Halo Wars was a thing, and then the
that's
Halo
right.
movie was a thing, and then we always had clips of the week. So it was always here are the top 5 plays.
remember that, yeah.
So it was always here's a 1-minute news story, and moving on.
Oh,
And-
yeah, to the clips, I guess.
Yep, and it was always just the clips, basically. And through time, we're just there's no more news.
Fun fact, Halo Sniper 69XXX was actually James, and he was in a clip of the week every week for
week.
Inside Halo.
I did it.
He was one of the best at Halo 3 in the world at the time.
I had to walk away.
Nobody
eventually.
knew. Yeah, James had to
Eventually
quit.
had to walk away.
James had to quit.
So-
This is one of the things people don't know about our little group. We like to tease everything years in advance. So we knew James was going to be on Inside Gaming back then. We're like, let's put him in Inside Halo.
A little Easter egg.
You guys don't know it now, but we're actually slipping Easter eggs into this podcast for what we're going to do 5 years from now.
True, yeah, it's true.
So make sure to look out for those.
My oldest machinima memory
farming.
is my oldest machinima memory is begging Adam to give me an actual job and not be a Halo sniper.
Yeah, and what
to
happened?
get money because I was really hungry and didn't have any money.
I think I kicked
He said,
mud in his face.
"Hey, you got to plant the seed before you can grow a garden."
That's
what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what I said. I said, go get a job.
Yeah, and he
away?
slapped me in the face.
I said, go get
I
a job
worked-
at G4 or continue working at G4, whatever you're doing. And we'll talk later.
I said, "Aye, aye, Captain."
And then go work on Respawn, get laid off, come back, and then you'll be part of Inside Gaming.
Really?
All
Which was
part
called-
of your master plan.
Which was called Inside Halo at the time.
The zombies down the hallway. Hey,
I know where I'm fucking going. Resident Evil.
He's just checking the doors.
there you go.
He's
The
gonna
zombie's
go.
going to look over his shoulder.
It's funny. Resident Evil 1 was one of the first PlayStation 1 games I played. We didn't own a PlayStation, but my mom borrowed one from a friend.
Nice.
And we were like, Resident Evil, that looks kind of cool. There's a guy on the cover with like a giant spider or something. We're like, we'll check it out. Put it in, got to this part, played it at like 6 in the morning. Yeah. It was like one of the scariest things I'd ever seen.
That actually scared me a little bit.
Yeah. Not to mention the controls are shit. So
Yeah.
it was always
Yeah, so
like,
you couldn't
Well,
even know what you're doing.
They actually revamped the controls. So.
Really?
Yeah, James is
And
playing
how does it feel?
It's fluid, real solid.
can you switch the camera so it plays like Resident Evil 4?
Yeah, you're scooting around a little
Oh,
bit.
man.
So James, here's
Do
your
it
challenge.
right,
You have to kill
do
the
it
first
right.
zombie with only a knife.
Good
No.
luck.
Do it.
I don't even know how to switch to my
You
knife.
bitch.
I
Open up the menu.
miss the zombie games when they move slow.
Equip your knife. Equip. Now, kill that zombie.
You got it.
Don't die, because I don't want to watch the end.
Nice, good swipe.
All right, sorry. Ask your DRM question.
I don't know, man. Should we just share memories for a while?
Yeah, share
Kinda-
memories. Go ahead.
Sure.
Oh, God.
That's my biggest.
Oh!
I'm never really good at basically just speaking from the heart or from the mind.
You're
I need
not
true.
I need a question.
Oh, I see.
I need
You're
inspiration.
gonna die.
The Tin Man.
Fuck you, Spool.
We'll finish that video.
That's right. He's still working on it.
I guess that's another thing too. Actually, so Bruce showed me a really good video. It's worth watching, and you're probably all gonna laugh at me, but it's a PewDiePie video.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he put up this video basically saying like, "Hey, I forget what his intention was originally.
This is Lawrence's idea.
What, fighting with a knife?
How I did it, James.
Go ahead.
Oh, she's dead.
She died.
Oh,
Funny.
I told you not to die.
Regardless, I forget what the original video was. He was like, "Hey, I got like 80 million subscribers. Everything's great." But he basically was going into like, I make jokes. I'm joking. I don't do anything seriously. And I was like, "Thank you." I'm glad he addressed it because that's kind of a problem we always have. So when I go, "Fuck you," Spool, like, Spool knows it's a joke, right?
What?
Oh, damn it!
This whole thing was a
told
lie.
you not to die, so you wouldn't have to watch the intro again. I said these
You can
words.
skip the intro.
And then you went and died.
Let Adam continue.
Either way, PewDiePie made a great video where he talked about how you should not take all things on the internet seriously, and there is kind of this weird disconnect with the audience and the creator where we like take almost nothing seriously, like almost nothing. Like we always everything's kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And so a lot of fans are like, does James really hate black people? And it's like, no, he doesn't really hate black people.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Oh my god. I'm tired of these racist jokes.
It's
guys.
not racist.
So Adam, I know
Anyway.
you probably feel pretty self-conscious exposing your soul and all, but you
sure.
have really long hair growing out of the side of your ear.
Take
it
it
out.
Take it.
Rip
oh,
it out.
Wow, it is a
Sure.
real good
Wait,
one.
this one?
No,
Another
here,
one.
let me
Oh,
get
it's
this
gonna
one?
hurt.
It's in my ear?
It's on the side of your ear.
Oh, grab it. Go ahead. That's fine. That's fine.
You're not going to be able to snatch it with your.
Oh!
Wow, you got it.
Wow, I usually need caffeine around this time, but that woke me up. That feels good.
Oh, it's all curly.
Keep hitting.
Can I see the
I
whole-
feel bad for anyone who is listening to the podcast and not seeing because
You just got
just
a
made
hair
out.
pulled out of your ear.
Lawrence basically just made out with my ear.
Feels good.
That's good
Got
stuff.
that ink ribbon.
What's the? Oh, there we go. Oh.
What about Bruce?
You start with
what's
a
your
knife.
first memory of Machinima?
My first memory. Oh, I'm playing this game. Hold on.
All right, James, what's yours?
Yeah.
My first memory of Machinima was, as Adam said, I started on Respawn, and I came in for an interview and did a little tour of the office, and the guy who's giving me the tour, Anthony, was telling me that it used to be the Hollywood Stock Exchange.
Star Wars?
Yeah.
Who also used to work at G4.
Yeah.
Who also used to work at G4.
Awesome.
He was like, this also used to be the building for the Hollywood Stock Exchange website. And I was like, he's like, you probably don't know what that is. And I was like, actually I do, and I had stock in Bill Paxton. It's probably worth something right now. That's my first memory.
Really? That's really? You had stock in Bill Paxton?
Yeah.
James thought this and said it, and Anthony had already
Oh, but
continued
he-
with the tour.
Yeah, and that's how
I
I
can't
didn't
go
get the
that
job.
Go that way, turn right. And run down that hallway, all the way.
You're gonna have to kill it with a knife like
All
I
the way
just
to the end.
died.
All the way to the end. It's
not gonna
all
work.
The way. There you go.
Well, where's the gun?
He's right.
You
No,
don't
already
get a
have
gun
one.
because you picked Chris. Chris doesn't
right.
start with a gun.
He's strong, though.
I forgot about that.
He's arguably harder.
You're definitely going to want to run away from this.
Yeah, you're
song.
gonna stab and run, stab and run,
I don't know about the stab and
stab, run, stab.
I have a really good story. Here, you play. I have a good story. Okay, so good luck with Chris Redfield. So my first memory of Machinima is I actually applied for Joel's job back in 2000.
I got it!
Hold on, that's not true.
As local clown.
I applied for the job way before Joel did.
It's true.
And thankfully we didn't have to fight over it. Regardless, I applied for that job and I met Aaron Debevois. And it was like 13 dudes in a room basically sitting it was in the place on Gower, the Hollywood
Production Center.
There we go.
Oh, the old one. Yeah.
And, I went in there and it was like all these guys were jammed in this one tiny little space. Aaron's office was really small. I interviewed with him, and he was like, "Yeah, you can come over and program the Realm channel. That we're going to start a new channel about MMOs." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I was coming from G4 and Attack the Show, so it sounded a lot different than what I was doing. And I was like, "No, that's really cool. All right, I'm looking forward to it," because I'd heard a lot of really good things about Machinima. I heard a lot of good things about how the company was coming up, and lots of my friends had gone there and said it was cool. So it sounded like a good opportunity. I ended up not taking it because Attack of the Show found a way to keep me for another year. But I did not take the job, and therefore Joel took the job on Machinima Realm.
So we would
that's
have
the only reason Joel got
and
it.
I've been picking up Bruce's leftovers ever since.
And he
Scraps.
He turned Realm into a hugely successful channel, which
true.
I don't know if I could have done.
No.
I think now it's interesting that Joel's path and my path have crossed now on Inside Gaming.
You've touched your tips.
And obviously,
basically.
no, we haven't done that yet. We docked a little bit, and then now at this point, we are part of the same team. And I don't know if that would have happened had I taken the job in 2010. It's
very true.
So it's kind of an interesting thing.
Well,
but,
I mean, like going back to that, like I remember one of the most devastating times. Like I worked on IG for a while, and it was never really wildly successful. Like we didn't have our own channel; it was just on Machinima. Like it was on the Machinima channel, so it was like it's always kind of a challenge to work on it, especially at the time Machinima was uploading a lot more videos, and they had the layoffs, so they got rid of Matt Danovic and Patrick and all those guys, and like. I thought were like kind of onto something. We weren't doing great views, but I was like, I'm really happy. I'm working with all these guys. It's great. And I was like, this really sucks. Like, this is horrible. Like, you remember, like,
you were bummed.
I was bummed. I was like looking for new jobs.
I've
like,
never seen Adam that sad.
it sucks when you're like, you're friends with people and then they get let go and you're just like, this really sucks. But like, obviously years later now, it's like, Matt's at Polaris and Patrick's been moving around a bit, but I'm actually going to see him this weekend. But that like really fucking sucked. But I always look back at it because it's like, James is one of the funniest guys I know.
Fuck you.
That's our James.
Bruce is one of the hardest working guys I know and makes my job a million times easier.
What am I?
Spool's just kind of there, which is great.
Who said that?
Lawrence, who I'd worked with previously, we didn't get to utilize in the same way. So like, it's always that weird thing. Like we always talk about, like there are the growing pains of things, and like it sucks to go through that sort of stuff. But like you always have to kind of see the silver lining. And like I always say, I'm the happiest with this team. Like I will not leave anywhere without this team. Like you guys are fucking awesome. So, and I'm happy to see how everyone has grown. And it sucks when there are like layoffs and stuff like that, but there typically is a silver lining. Like you'll see good things come from that. So I'm always really grateful for those sort of things.
Cool.
God damn
I'm
it!
trying to figure out a way to end that.
Am I
Fine.
the growing pain?
Yeah.
So Spool,
You're always a pain.
Spool actually represents something that I'm super proud of. One of the things I've always looked at is the Rooster Teeth model. I always love the fact that like Blaine. I always point at Blaine. He's one of my favorite guys at Rooster Teeth. He's super young. He was an intern, and he basically has just been like stepping up. He's taken over a lot of their work for certain things. And
I know what that's like.
well, what I like is that like Blaine has grown as a personality naturally. I like that. And so like Spool is sort of that sort of thing where people were asking for Spool. And so like Spool represents like
Who was asking
I
for
don't know
Spool?
why.
there was someone in the comments once, I think.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, the kids love Spool. And I like that Spool was welcomed into our group, and ETC was cool about like, yeah, well, move him over, it's fine. And Spool wanted to work on gaming
Yeah,
stuff,
left
so
me
like,
out in the cold.
you're here now and you're happy.
Spool, did you finish that video?
Yeah, it's exporting.
I gotta interrupt real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's something very important to mention. James, you may notice that when you pull up to a ready stance in Resident Evil, you move forward just a little bit.
Speed run.
When I was in college, I saw a video of somebody beating Resident Evil 2 only pulling the gun. Except at the end when there's a timer and he couldn't get to the end in time, so we just started running. That's my funny story. Spool, what's your?
That was a
funny?
funny story.
No, it didn't have to be funny.
Bang, 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 bang.
Spool, what's your first memory of Machinima?
First memory of Machinima, producing Rechnology with Bruce.
Yeah,
One
Spool
of the
producing
coolest
with me.
memories.
Which episode was
Yeah,
that?
what was the specific
The
episode?
Microsoft Surface where we shot it with old-timey guns.
Yeah, that one was really fun.
Yeah,
And
Spool
then
did a really good job.
We did the Revengeance one too, where we like
Oh, yeah.
sliced
Oh,
up a
yeah,
bunch
the
of
Revengeance
stuff.
one. Nice,
So
Amy.
those are fun.
With Quentin Flynn.
Now, still to this day, Amazon still recommends swords and things to me.
That's right, 'cause you bought a bunch of
Amazon
swords, yeah.
buying swords. They're all around this office too. A lot of them have them.
I was on Amazon today. I don't know why, randomly. I think I was looking at a package or something, but
never random.
Bible Man was
Oh,
was
man.
being recommended.
I did that the other
They're like,
day.
"Don't you want Bible Man?" I'm like, "What did I buy? Where it would
Yes,
recommend?"
I want Bible.
What's Bible Man up to these days?
I don't know because we were watching those shitty YouTube videos and we were laughing at them. We're like, "Wow, Bible Man looks like."
Buy it.
Like I forget what it was. It was like Terry Smith, a man living in sin, one day just couldn't take it, and he's like, "Fuck this!"
He
And,
learns to suck his own dick. It becomes Bible Man.
and he like throws his briefcase in the rain. And he's like, "And from that day forward, he was Bible Man." Like, what happened? Right? Let's watch this.
Found an enchanted Bible.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he like digs in the ground. He's like, "Yes."
Oh, that's right, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
He
he
went
went
into
into
the forest. He had all of his important sinful business papers.
Yeah, he got angry because there was like
Sinful.
lightning and thunder and it was
Yeah,
all stormy. And
it
he
was
just
raining.
throws his briefcase down.
No,
I
Lord,
hate business.
take my soul, Lord.
Anyway, so I should be buying some Bible Man DVDs or VHS. I
My
wasn't.
shares in Bible Man.
Do you think I could
Paxton, that's gonna go
cosplay
to
Bible
the-
Man for
Oh,
Halloween?
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Please.
I think people will know who I am.
Sex offender.
What's that?
It's a key.
Only if you're shouting
Good
like
key.
Bible verses and stuff at people.
I can do that.
Oh yeah, this
What
is
is-
a.
This is actually one of the weird situations where Resident Evil the movie makes more sense than Resident Evil the game, because they show up to the mansion right randomly.
Yeah.
Like, what's the reason for the mansion? They were just out in the woods, just kind of
No, their
There was an outbreak.
helicopter.
Oh, you mean here?
They were supposed to investigate this mansion. Something suspicious was going on. Except that, as you find out, as the series moves on, it wasn't an accident.
Sounds like they're just ripping off Silent Hill to me.
They ripped off those
Has nothing to do
Resident
with
Evil
Silent Hill.
I
movies.
was waiting.
That
Damn
could
it,
the zombie coming to you.
I don't think I have.
But I
bullets.
mean, like in the
Just
movie,
run away.
Shoot him.
I don't know.
One shot to the heart.
Oh, wait, zombies.
It's a window.
You gotta shoot him in the head.
I gotta move that statue.
There's no aiming. Look at that shadow, though, huh? Man,
Shot.
That's pretty sweet.
blew my mind on the game.
Did
Graphics
everyone
actually
else
look
tell their
okay.
stories?
My mind on
Huh?
Did everyone tell their memories?
Go ahead, Spool. Tell your
I
story.
already told it.
Oh, boring.
Technology.
I haven't told mine yet. Let's see here. Well, no one's gonna ask Joel. So
I'm curious.
No, I just want to hear.
I can actually. So I have a strange photographic memory for certain things. I can remember the first time I met Lauren Sontag.
Oh dear.
It was the IGAs. in
Yeah,
September,
that's right.
2010.
That sucks.
Ian?
Yeah.
Well,
Wait,
let's-
why did it suck?
The show didn't suck.
Fuck
I
this
was.
place.
I had a good time at that show.
well-
the developers from Treyarch said we were punk rock.
Oh, that's right. They did.
Yeah. They're like Vondar was like, "This is how you fucking do it, man," and then he never came back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out everyone's happy when they're drinking free drinks.
Hey. Me too.
That particular weekend kind of sucked for me because as a freelancer, I didn't quite get paid on time, so I didn't quite have the money. I needed to rent a car, so I had to walk from LAX to the nearest metro station, which was about 2.5 miles, 3 miles.
Matt.
And then,
His phone.
see, this is why I don't tell stories.
Your phone's ringing.
Oh, sorry. Guys.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
totally
Sorry.
fine.
Continue.
funny.
Sorry. I was invested.
So let's see here. That's right. So I went to the car dealership. They said they needed a huge deposit because I was like 9 months too short from their age cutoff for not putting down a huge deposit. Didn't have the money because I hadn't gotten paid in like 2.5 months.
Damn it.
Yeah, that was fun. So I walked to the metro station, bought a metro pass, and then had to kind of figure out how to get up into North Hollywood from near the airport on the metro maps. And the guy who worked at Machinima at the time wasn't a whole lot of help because he was, busy running the show. So I kind of figured out my way there, figured out my way to the venue, and I hadn't eaten in like 12 hours at that point.
You did look hungry.
Yeah. Well, I was hungry and annoyed. So I remember ordering drinks that, in my estimation, had the most nutritional value because I was starving and there was no food there. So I was like, make me a screwdriver, but mostly orange juice.
Nice job, Lawrence.
Smart.
So that was an interesting
Fend
night.
off the rickets.
Yeah, I know. How did that work? Did that work out for you? You get some nutrition out of that
I think
screwdriver?
so. I remember that as soon as I got there, they immediately put me to work unpacking and hooking up headphones that we got, like it was some promotional thing.
Wow.
We just got this pallet of clamshells for headphones. And it was the kind
yeah.
of I was the one who had to like I had to like shuck all of those things.
Knox Audio.
Knox Audio.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had them for years.
Yeah,
Man.
they were always littered around
So
the office.
one of the things we never really got into this year was people were asking like, what happened to the IGAs this year? It's like, well, it turns out doing an award show is expensive.
Yeah, and we've always had sponsors.
Yeah, and a lot of the people who were really pushy about doing the IGAs every year are gone. Mm-hmm. And then when Rob Smith left, who was kind of our our editorial reason for living.
Yeah, our voice.
Yeah,
Our
he
voice.
like basically. I mean, fucking, I adore Rob Smith. I remember reading his Halo 2 review in official Xbox magazine. So like, when I met him, and then I found out like weeks later, like, oh yeah, we're hiring him. I was like, oh my fucking god! Like, I love that man. But when he was gone, I was like, what's the point? Like, we have no editorial credibility. It's all gone. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I think the way Lawrence and I were doing reviews was really fucking cool.
And the Inside Gaming Award for Best Game of the Year goes to Halo 3.
Halo 3 wins it again.
It's almost
Thanks for coming to the Inside Halo Award.
Isn't it 2014? Like, fuck you! And then Spool goes back to work.
But I want to hear Joel's first memory of Machinima.
I had worked. I've been also at G4 for a long time, and then I got laid off because they didn't enjoy the content we were making for XPlay. And so I was unemployed for a year and a half. And a former G4 coworker, Justin Facino, called me and asked what I was doing. And I told him I was unemployed, basically. And he said, "We're starting an MMO channel that Bruce Green doesn't want to work on."
Yep.
And so I went in to interview, and it was 3 guys and myself, and they asked. Basically, it was a World of Warcraft quiz. How well do you know World of Warcraft? And I nailed it.
Very well, I'll have you know.
Well, it's funny, the email that was sent to me when for the email for Machinima, like, we're hiring at Machinima, when it was only like 2 dudes in a closet. They're like, are you good at Halo and World of Warcraft? I'm like, I'm good at half of that. And I was like, I told them, like, yeah, I'm really big in Halo. Like, I love it. I love all the Halo community stuff. They're like, cool, what about Warcraft? I'm like, I can maybe learn. Like, good enough, get in. Like, you got a laptop? I'm like, I sure do. Like, get to work.
I knew nothing about Machinima when I started, and when I watched some of the stuff that was already on the channel, I remember thinking to myself, whoa.
He's like, help me.
Get this dagger out of my head.
Call my insurance.
Yeah, and some of the earliest guys that I recruited to be a director on Realm are now incredibly succsuccessful, not because of me specifically, because they're hard workers, but
Spool.
mainly it's because of me.
That's good.
So those are my first memories of Machinima, are working in the HPC, interviewing, renewing my World of Warcraft subscription, and working with Brett and Antos.
To our listeners right now, if you can't see the gameplay, James is running from a zombie with a knife in his head.
Get your dagger back.
Yeah.
So
locked.
Joel, you mentioned you wanted to hear my version of my first experience with Machinima. What was that implying?
Well, because first of all, you have a long and tumultuous history with the company, and I think you were technically around before I was.
Yep.
But I didn't meet you until like my, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd month is when you first came into the office, I think.
That sounds right.
And I was like, who is this guy? And everyone was like, oh, he writes everything that we do. This is the guy who writes everything.
Who is this hunk?
Yeah.
No, God.
And
I was definitely a hunk of flesh back then.
And we didn't have enough seats where everybody was sitting. So Lawrence had to sit basically in this hallway with our HR team, which was one.
Nice.
No, I love Karina. I'm a huge Karina fan.
Karina was very nice.
But Lawrence had to sit there, and he was always very nice. But I didn't do anything with Inside Gaming at the time. So, I mean, I just meant I wanted to hear your on again, off again relationship.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, so to trace it all the way back, I started with Machinima in 2009 as a freelance writer for the Inside Gaming blog.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Machinima.com.
It wasn't called the Inside Gaming blog.
Is machinima.com/insidegaming.blog.biz or whatever.
/reviews
that's
-2, I think, because it was a WordPress.
Reviews
-2. Seriously, it was a WordPress blog that it was like multi-user, and
Did
then it got
anybody
converted
read your
into-
reviews?
No.
It ultimately came down to, there was around the time Rob Smith came on, like there was a really big push to get on Metacritic.
Yeah.
And so they're like, write reviews. I don't care what it's about, just write it and we'll get on Metacritic. And that's how we got on Metacritic.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
doing
That's
well.
how I started working here. I actually got kicked off of the website I was writing for at the time because, man, I don't know why.
What was the website called?
TheGameReviews.com.
The Game Reviews.
Yeah.
That great site.
Prestigious.
I mean,
What do they do on that?
Prestigious.
One of the last greats still
You know,
around.
you'd think they'd focus on reviews, but it was just typical website stuff. opinion pieces, blogs.
Gamer
sort of
boys.
thing. Yeah, Gamer Boys. I recall. I think I publicly called out a piece that we had posted because it had like really terrible grammatical issues and was actually factually wrong about a lot of
Get
stuff.
out of my office. This is your bedroom.
Mom! I remember it got posted on N4G, which I hate that website.
Yeah.
And I posted a comment on N4G being like, there are multiple spelling errors and like factual errors with this article.
Yeah.
And then that was apparently an affront to everything that the Game Review stood for. So I got thrown off the staff there. So I was like, well, fuck it. I guess
For
I'm looking
correcting
for
the
work.
spelling.
Wow. And you were living at Dallas at the time?
Yeah, I was living in Dallas, and at the time I was also working.
I got thrown off the staff.
I was working, and I actually
This is spelled wrong. You're fired.
Me and Lawrence talked about all this at lunch.
Yeah, I kind of ran through my history with school at lunch, but at the time I was also doing freelance for a life reinsurance company, which is a fantastic business.
Wow.
If you want to have your mind blown about the American economic system, read up about reinsurance.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I
no.
wanted to say, are we talking about
I'm
machinima?
not going to do it now.
Well, no, it's funny. Before I went into, I think G4, I was going into media or whatever. I was selling life insurance.
Nice.
Did I ever tell you guys that?
Yeah,
No.
probably for Primerica.
I got pulled into the official pyramid scheme Primerica, which
Yep.
I guess isn't a pyramid scheme, but it's a pyramid scheme.
It basically is.
It's it is, and I don't know. I mean,
It
they
is and it isn't, but it is.
Isn't that Crest in like the fireplace room, the giant ballroom?
I got the.
That's
get
where you got it
the-
from?
I got it.
Oh, you got the diamond in the. Oh,
Then
zombie man.
there's like another
Oh.
one where you have to swap out the crests.
He looks like he has a folding chair.
I'm just hanging.
I had to deal with Primerica in my shitty reinsurance job.
Wow.
That blows.
Yeah.
I hate that company.
Yeah, it was just hard. I mean, God, I was with a different girl at the time. It was like my high school girlfriend, and she had like a ultra religious family, and they were very much like, you need a job, like you need to take care of. And I'm like, you need to take care of our girl if you're gonna keep this going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not really good at things other than like video games and video editing. So
Let's get you selling life insurance, boy.
yeah, well, I was like, there was this guy, like a friend of mine was like, oh yeah, my cousin does this thing, and like he makes a lot of money doing this. I was like, money, you say? That pays more than the Magic Mountain job I work at. So I checked it out. I was actually certified. Like I got the test. I could sell life insurance, and then I was gonna get my like investor's degree, so I could like invest in mutual funds and stuff like that.
Nice.
You were going to be the Wolf of Wall Street.
I wish.
In short, if you start selling life insurance, you'll eventually work at machinima.
Not really. I'm just saying my life could have been completely different if I didn't just stop and go, fuck it, I'm going to go back to school, which then I dropped out of. And then, well,
It's the American dream, really.
I was, I forget exactly how it happened. I think it was at G4, and then I was like, I'm going to go back to film school. I'm going to do this. And it was going to be like $100,000 for 1 year at like LA Film School. I was about to go, and then on the first day I was like, I can't do this. This is too expensive.
Wow,
and then
that's fast.
I took a full-time job at Machinima.
Dropped
actually.
out your first day of school?
Basically, yeah.
All right, Lawrence, we want to talk about
running all the way back
Want
up.
to talk about DRM?
Sure. Let's talk about DRM.
Let's talk about DRM.
Oh,
Hold on, wait.
Real quick.
Wait. We should ask
Yeah.
Peak,
Hey, Peak.
his oldest.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
sure.
what's your first memory of machinima, Pig?
Come on, I think it's
There, get over here.
We won't make you sit here for very long.
Oh no, it's fine. Should I do the 2006 one or the 2000?
Oh yeah, you and Dave the Rave.
Yeah, I
You made that up.
No, I did not.
No,
Tell it.
I was just out of school, and you know, when you're out of school, you're looking for anything, and so Adam invited me and my roommate down to Machinima at the time, which was over
He's like, that's anything.
Sim-
Yeah.
That was the Culver City. one.
Qualifies.
Col-
Yeah.
Culver City, and then
Yeah.
it was Adam and like Philip Devilbaugh in an office, and that was it. And they took our motion graphics reels.
Don't forget Bappa.
I don't think I met him.
Oh yeah, he probably left.
What a lot of people don't realize is that Machinima was actually a zoo before they got into gaming.
It's like we bought a zoo?
Also, to clarify, Matt's roommate was.
So you don't need
was
that.
that, Oh, it's just my keyboard.
I was trying to.
Dave was also his roommate, but my wife now was Matt's roommate. Matt went to college. You went to Brooks, right?
I did.
Yeah, I went to the same college as my wife.
Oh.
She was my girlfriend at the time, and then we just stayed together, and that was kind of crazy. So like Matt's you've known Jess about as long as I have.
A while, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
since
known her
college.
carnally.
Oh yeah, he's-
Stop it. That's
Hey,
cool.
no, hey,
no,
hey,
what?
yeah, you know,
Just-
dude,
just
you
as a
gotta-
classy lady.
But yeah, Matt and I used to party up at that Ventura house. That was fun.
Oh, you had a space.
It was what Matt was a ladies' man.
He just smirks.
Wow.
I heard stories. I won't get into details, but like Matt was had his pick of the litter. That's for sure.
I was, but at the time I was not aware of it. So. Maybe it was that.
Well, because you basically lived in the gym because you lived in.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
This is my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. You lived in the garage because it was super cheap, so it was only like $300 or like $400 a month or something like that.
200.
200, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
In a house, so he like lived in the garage, but then
deal.
the-
Man,
basically,
1983 was crazy.
but the rule was they're like, there's no shower for you,
Yeah.
and so Matt would go to the gym every day to use the shower, and then like
Good stuff.
Economical. It was great. I
dead.
loved it.
anyway. Sorry. Tell the first.
Well, that was
day.
pretty much it. You know,
yeah.
they ended up going with Dave, and from what I heard, I got lucky because it was like, do all these crazy graphics and all these things, and you guys are like, the computers don't have these. Oh, just download the trial for After Effects, and it's just like. So then years later, you brought
Yeah.
me on for freelance stuff in late 2010. So that was my first real
Yeah,
involvement.
that was when we were ramping up Inside Gaming. We went from the Inside Gaming just weekly show was weekly, and then we went bi-weekly. So that I forget why they just wanted to like get the views up, and so we need another editor, and we started. And then I think when we went daily, we brought you on in like 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so John was doing the weekly, and then you were doing the daily. Oh no, I'm sorry, vice versa. You were doing the weekly, and you had to learn my weird sense of humor. And then Lawrence was on the show with me for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Those were fun episodes.
There you were.
The dead hooker in the back. We would just improv in a
Oh
VO
yeah,
booth
the
for.
cinema episodes.
gosh.
Man, that was good.
We would just improv in a booth for like half an hour, and
I
I
need
just
to go back and watch those. I feel like
they're
that's
actually
funny
pretty
stuff.
They're pretty funny. I found out Lawrence is a funny guy.
You're gonna get killed. Oh god,
Why?
because the knight's is gonna run after you.
He's like,
Don't you have to have like a fake key to cram in there? Maybe not.
No,
Oh boy. Oh,
fight him.
I didn't take the key.
Anyway, thanks, Matt.
I guess. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Go save and then take that key.
Yeah.
I have to go all the way back and save.
Hey man, Resident Evil. This is what people want. This is what Resident Evil fans want. This is the best game in the series.
They do?
I don't know.
Puzzles,
They
man.
like to
I think
complain
I can
about
take
5
it.
and 6, even though those are great
It's
games.
probably fine.
You're gonna die.
What if I stand on this side?
He's behind you.
I'm sure.
Then I go duck out here, and they crash into each other.
Oh yeah, do that.
no puzzle in Resident Evil works that way, but
Suck on this, Mila Jovovich.
The the best Resident Evil puzzles are like when there's a gate, and they're like,
Uh-oh.
it's locked from the other side. Oh, you're fucked.
yeah, they got you.
Wow, they thought of everything.
Boy, they got you hard.
He's like, I'm coming for
Who
you.
developed this trap?
You son of a bitch!
I'm gonna spend $10,000.
What? Really?
Put the key back. Put the key back.
I don't think. Yeah, you can put it back. Okay, that's good.
How are you supposed to do it then?
There's like a fake.
Nope.
There's like a wooden key
Oh, yeah.
that you put in the spot. The way you get the shotgun is the same.
Ah,
way. You have
nice
to actually
job.
get like a broken shotgun to replace the actual shotgun. That's stupid.
Now take it again.
Resident Evil.
Now he's
Must have watched Indiana Jones.
All right, now let's talk about
bunch of
DRM.
times.
Let's talk about DRM.
Oh yeah, we talk about game stuff. Or
So
whatever.
DRM went a little nasty this week, or this
It was the
last
weekend. Yeah.
Basically, Ubisoft has decided to flex a little muscle and start taking away people's games.
They're Chinese games.
And as usual, we did a daily on this. Long story short, there are some Hong Kong-based retailers that may have sold illegitimate keys. Ubisoft is now basically removing those from their service, and that's after people have paid for them. So this is one of those things that can only happen because we're adopting digital systems and digital rights managements and all that sort of thing. And it's interesting to me that there are pros and cons to it. The pro is you can play all your games digitally. You can download them whenever you want on whatever computer you want.
Sound like you said diddly.
Diddly.
Sorry. Keep
The cons are that the platform holders can do whatever they want with that service. Oh, there you go. Put the arrow where the key was.
Really?
really?
You can't carry it.
Ooh. Oh, He got you. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, you're immune.
So what I thought would be interesting to talk about is kind of share a perspective on DRM, how it's matured, the pros and cons, and basically individually where we all lie on it. There are some people who hate it no matter what. They want a physical disc, and they put that disc into their machine,
Right.
and there's no internet involved, and that's where it starts and stops.
Yeah.
Personally, I throw myself whole hog into the DRM system mostly because I play it pretty legit. I buy from first party only.
My favorite were the comments where they said Steam doesn't have DRM because you can go into offline mode.
Steam is absolute DRM. That's the thing that blows my mind.
Well, it's DRM that people don't notice.
It's done the
It's
right
hidden
way.
DRM, yeah.
That's the thing. People always say DRM is a negative, but DRM by itself is not bad because it can afford you some freedom.
Not until it breaks or stops you from playing the games that you actually.
It's like good CGI. It's
Huh.
only bad when you notice it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So that's pretty much what DRM is. And people are like, it's like you basically just said Steam's DRM is great, which is fine.
You're out of space.
And we were talking.
Go to a chest, bro.
We were talking the other day about how
Right in that
Ubisoft
chest.
has always notoriously been really mean to their PC user base in that they add like layers and layers of DRM, and
Yeah.
then on a game that's ported terribly and everything else. So a lot of PC gamers have hated Ubisoft
Yeah.
because of those things. Like, even now, like, you buy a Ubisoft game on Steam, whether it's Far Cry or something like that, you still have to, like, log into Ubisoft and go through their DRM on top of Steam's DRM and everything else. It's still-
Uplay's the greatest service that's ever existed, you son of a bitch.
At least Uplay, I did notice when I was playing Far Cry 4 that Uplay does have a little option you can tick that says if you're launching this from Steam, just go automatically. So they're at least removing like button
trying.
presses
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
have been getting better in the last couple of years.
But-
It's like Far Cry 3.
But still, what they're doing is like, and I guess I would assume Ubisoft either knows or has confirmed that these keys are stolen, and that's why they're taking those games away. But I guess I'm giving them too much credit.
What are they stolen from? Like,
Well,
back of a truck or
it
something?
It could be like somebody doing a key gen. Like
Yeah.
somebody found a key gen, started
Oh.
generating keys,
That's
gave them all to G2A, and then G2A resold them. Because they're selling those games for half price.
That's
Like,
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or even less.
Yeah, because
Remember-
they're all like Hong Kong-based websites for the most part.
And it's possible it was also
Man.
just digitally stolen. Maybe somebody's database got compromised somewhere. They got a
Yeah.
bulk of keys that
Yeah.
changed hands a few times, and then ultimately made its way into GTA.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be Steam keys or something, and they
But-
hijacked something. along
But a
the
lot
way.
of this is stemming from guys like, or gals, everyone, who are like in Australia and stuff, where games are so crazy overpriced for like no reason at all.
Yeah.
And so they need to go around and like circumvent Steam's weird pricing structure so that they can get a game
you have
that's
to save.
affordable, essentially.
Just save it?
Yeah,
Wouldn't the easier solution just be for Ubisoft to sell the game directly to countries like Australia, like for cheaper,
Yeah.
rather than
You are
taking-
smart.
I guess. I mean, I am
There
actually.
has to be a reason the system is the way it is, right?
Yeah, and
I just don't know what that reason is.
I mean, if anything, I know, like Spool was saying,
You have too many items. You
There's
gotta
got to
find
be
a
a storage
chest.
chest somewhere.
Yeah, you
forget where
can't
the
get rid of the
storage
items.
is.
Your items are
oh no, it's okay, it's
We're
okay.
distracting you.
No,
What was I
I'm getting.
saying?
You were saying how Ubisoft has been mean to PC users.
Yeah.
I think mean and neglected are two different things, but they can get mixed up for being the same thing. So for a while, they're just kind of like, those fuckers are just going to steal our games anyway. So just throw some DRM in there and call it a day.
yeah.
It's like,
Basically, they treat everyone like pirates before they
Right.
were.
No.
and I think I want to say, I forget which one it was, but it was like, I want to say it's like Assassin's Creed 3. I think on like tech support, they suggested someone use a CD crack because they're like, this fixes it pretty much. I mean, you paid for it, but like, if you use this, it gets rid of the shitty DRM and it's fine.
It's almost like using an emulator for a game that you already bought because like it's gonna work smoother and better. And,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I saw you
you
kind of
paid
lean.
for the game once.
Well, so this kind of raises. Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, I knew the story to
This
go.
kind of raises the question: how valuable a deal is it for you to convince you to buy a key from a Hong Kong online store? Like,
Well,
if
I mean,
they
if
were
it's
if they half off isn't really that much in the grand scheme of things.
Half off for us is not the same as the rest of the world.
No, yeah.
I read some Ubisoft forum posts from guys in like Poland where they say we're forced to buy through the euro, and then it's
Yeah.
like even more expensive. So they
Yeah.
and I did like if his prices were accurate, the game would have cost him 250 US,
Fuck me.
whereas on G2A it cost 30 US.
Yeah.
So the difference is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Almost to the point of like gaming is a
It
prohibitively
seems like there should
expensive
be
hobby.
one dude working at Ubisoft who just scrolls through internet stores and says, it's being sold digitally for $31. He's like, let's set ours to 30. And then because again, we've talked about this a lot. Once you get in digital, it doesn't fucking matter.
they're
Like
trying-
everything you sell is money in your pocket, you know?
Yeah, they're trying to control that price, and they're still stuck on the old like
There-
physical way
there's-
of selling things. And
There's one guy named Sven or something like at a keygen, and he's just hitting like, copy, paste. I mean, he's got a job. He has to make new copies.
No, but
By
yes.
hitting,
Yeah, but we
Copy
should have
and paste
another
it.
guy who's looking out and saying, "Well, maybe we can cut into this market if we." It's right there. You can put it in your damn gun
the funny
if you
thing
weren't a
is,
retard.
I actually-
And you didn't pick Chris, who has no items in his space.
the funny thing is,
swear
I
there's
hadn't
a
even
chest
heard
down
about most of these websites like G2A, and I forget what the other ones were, but like
G2 Play, I think.
Yeah.
G2Play maybe. But I hadn't heard of any of these websites until like a couple of months ago. Like a lot of Twitch streamers have started to use them.
Uh-oh.
Basically, what they can do is they can partner with the website. And it says like every game you purchase through GTA, if you use my code, I get like 5% or whatever.
What do I press? What do I press?
Just keep tapping,
So
man.
they,
You're dead.
Nope.
So I don't know how Twitch streamers are
Chris
really
read through
reacting to this
Trends.
news that basically
Yeah.
the people they're promoting, or like the website they're promoting, is kind of stealing keys.
It also kind of sucks for the websites if they thought that they must have known that they weren't getting
Some
good
guy shows up, he's like,
keys,
"Hey, look what I got in my jacket."
Well, the thing that Lawrence said is that they're still selling those keys. So I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
maybe before they had a batch of bad keys and now they're selling good keys, but they didn't know they were bad. That's a
But
possibility too.
it kind of goes back to the whole when you're just selling numbers. You know, there's what is it require? It doesn't even require them to store anything on their servers because it's being downloaded from Ubisoft. I don't know. It seems like almost like a smart decision that they would be like, fuck it, keep selling. When people come back and they want to get a refund, we'll give them a refund. But if they don't, then all right, I guess everything worked out for them, no problem.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe we're oversimplifying it. Maybe there is more infrastructure, more cost that goes into that, and like, you know, countries like Brazil where it's like super expensive. I heard the statistic that it's cheaper to fly from Brazil to what's the place, like Florida, get a hotel, go to Disneyland or Disney World, like have a really nice dinner, buy a PS4 and fly it back than it is to actually buy a PS4
Yeah.
from Brazil.
Yeah,
was like-
that's a weird
You're moving over again.
international
Might just move your
issue. That's a larger. Keep in mind that when you're dealing with these issues, it is a symptom of a larger,
Yeah.
much more comprehensive, bigger issue that is
Yeah.
bigger than whether or not your copy of Far Cry 4 works.
Yeah.
Saying that from someone who has a copy that actually works.
I have to.
So I'm just.
Humble
Yeah.
brag.
No, I'm not
Jeez.
humble bragging. I'm saying take my opinion with a grain of salt because I am not affected by this currently.
I have to believe that this system exists the way it does because people have done the math
Yeah.
and they figured out that selling these copies locally in their local currency is worth more money to the company than trying to undercut themselves.
Of course. Yeah.
So
I mean, there could also be governmental regulations.
that's true.
Right.
That's also true.
That's well, it's like what you're saying. That's a symptom of a much bigger
Yeah.
economical thing where it's less of like it's kind of funny when it's like there are probably these bigger issues and then there's like some kids being like fix Far Cry and the
Well,
politicians are like what the fuck
It's
what's a
kind
Far
of-
Cry?
It's kind of like the same thing as when you're buying a game on Steam, and depending on what state you'll
Euro.
have to pay sales tax on the games or stuff like that because.
That's an arrowhead.
I mean, if you expand that to the globe, different governments are going to have different taxes on games coming in. What is going on in the game?
I promise you probably
What
use the
around?
arrow to replace the.
But
It makes no sense.
but
It
it's
doesn't. But
something that you can
Sorry,
relate
school.
to is that like
Yeah.
a state. If you live in a state that doesn't have sales tax, you're not going to have to pay like on games and stuff like that. You're not going to have to pay sales tax on games on Steam. Whereas if you live in a state like
That's true,
California
yeah.
or Washington State or wherever that has sales tax, you're going to have to pay that sales tax. Just if you amplify that to the globe, different governments are going to have different regulations. Like I'm sure Australia, because they have such heavy restrictions on games, and like a lot of censorship and stuff, they put a big heavy tax on games so that like it's more of a luxury versus here in the U.S.
I don't know. It's kind of tough. Like I kind of wish I could spend more time in these countries and understand it a bit more. Like I always feel bad speaking on behalf of a country. Like Spool sounds like an expert. Don't get me wrong.
That's because he's from Brazil.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, have
I
you
like to
ever
talk
left the
smart.
continental United
He's
States?
never left California.
Really?
No?
He's from Seattle.
From
Never
Washington.
left
That's
California.
amazing.
I've been to Canada
That's
and
amazing.
Mexico.
That's it.
Yep,
Really?
that's it.
What country would you like
Guys
to go
always
to
leave me
most,
behind.
Spool?
That's true. We do
because
all.
you don't have a passport.
Yeah, I know. Do you have a passport yet?
Yeah, you don't have a
I
passport.
can't
you
even
got
go
one.
to Canada or Mexico anymore.
Oh, that's right. What country could you not go to for
All of
ATC? Because
Puerto Rico.
well, you're
Oh,
wait.
what country could I
No,
not
they
go
were going to like
Japan.
France. Oh, Japan.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to.
Oh my God, you
I
missed an
couldn't
opportunity to go to Japan.
Or
Because he didn't want to get a
That's right,
passport.
with ETC.
Spool, would you like to go to Japan?
sure, I'd like to go to Japan.
Lawrence, you haven't been to
He
Japan.
doesn't care.
not.
Spool streams every night from his house.
No, I like.
He
to
goes
go.
to Japan
I,
every
doesn't
want- I like to
care.
experience
I think-
things at least once.
I think Spool would find a wife or two there. Like
Waifu
A
too.
waifu, two?
I heard that, I heard
a
that.
waifu or two.
sometimes I'm more clever than I think I am. What?
Yes.
Not to give like G2A and G2 Play the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like they bought. You know how like you can buy a batch of
Yeah.
keys
Oh, yeah.
in bulk and everything's cheaper. I think they bought a batch of keys thinking that what the fuck is going on?
It's not tank control, so it gets weird.
I think they bought a batch of keys thinking that, like, oh, we'll just sell these at a discount because we bought, 60 copies of Far Cry 4 for $2,500
Right.
versus how much it would have been if you'd done, $60 times 20, whatever.
Right.
So,
But you think they didn't know they were stolen?
correct. I think that's probably what happened because these guys, this website's been around for years and they've been doing this for a very long time. So either they know they've been selling stolen keys for years, or this is what they do. They buy them, assuming they're real, and then
I think-
take it down.
I guess
Shady
the-
Jim is not trustworthy anymore.
Shady Jim?
Is that the
That's
name of a
guy-
place?
That's the guy where
Is that
they
your
buy
dealer?
their keys from. No, that's where they get their keys from.
Oh, that's an actual dude.
No, I think it's a joke.
I think it's a
Yeah.
joke. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
It's
joke
a
is
joke.
that that's an actual
I can never
guy.
tell Spool. It's always-
Except that you picked the name of someone in the damn room.
Here's spool.
Look at that, Jim.
Wither.
I think I'm gonna go save again to use the last ribbon.
There's nothing
That's
we can
right.
fucking
Get
do.
this shitting key. This is weird. There's supposed to be a box.
Why can't you
somewhere.
set down a thing,
Yeah.
take the key, and put the thing there?
It's a
Doesn't make any.
PlayStation 1
He's like, it
game.
has to go in my pocket.
We're doomed if Lawrence can't figure
There's,
out this.
there's.
Yeah, I know.
Oh shit. Okay.
My favorite
Can I
one
get in that
was
door?
I think it was Resident Evil 5.
Oh, no.
When you had like 5 slots and a giant like heavy machine gun took
Yeah.
up as much space as an egg.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like, no more room. He's like,
Sorry.
you have a fucking egg and a machine gun.
Yeah, but I could keep that egg.
Just imagine how big the save file would be if they had to track all the items on the
I
ground.
mean, you can't just throw the egg in there without some
about
kind
it.
of padding. It's-
Lawrence, you should read the communities. Are we in communities?
Yeah, let's.
Oh man, we're just
I'll just skip over to that. Sure.
burning right through this.
All
Hey,
right,
sorry,
so let me
guys.
save again. Clear up some inventory space.
There you go. Good luck. Good luck.
So,
have fun. Wait, hold on.
last podcast we discussed pre-orders. We had some interesting responses on that. Strong bad, probably not strong bad, but he or she said, pre-order or not, take some fucking responsibility for yourself for once. If you want to pre-order a game, fine. Nobody's stopping you. It's your money. Go ahead.
Is he talking to us?
Talking to the internet.
I think everybody
okay.
that pre-orders.
But if you aren't satisfied with your purchase come release, don't come crawling back and complain that X company stole your money. We've seen time and time again with games like Destiny, Watch Dogs, and Assassin's Creed. Bungie sucks, Ubisoft sucks, they stole my money, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
No, sorry, it doesn't work like that. When you blindly purchase a product that hasn't been completed yet, you're making an investment, and investments don't always pay off.
No.
If you want to pre-order, you have to be willing to accept the consequences that are on you. Nobody forced you to buy it, you have no reason to complain. Can't handle that, then wait until release and do some goddamn research on the game before throwing your money away. Fucking simple.
Boom.
Truth bombs.
Hey,
Boomed.
it's like he said what we were thinking, but meaner.
Yeah.
I did read some comments that like we all were like, it's not hard to get a game. There are enough games going around, and you only have to put down $1. But I did read some people with international comments that said that's not the case everywhere.
Yeah. Some you have to pre-order in full.
Some you have to pay full price, and
PC, I think you do.
on PC you do, and but they were also like, and our game stores sell out of these games. So
Yeah.
if we do want them,
Nintendo game.
I still would argue that you don't need it right away.
Yeah.
I don't know any game that you need to play on day 1 that you can't play on day
Multiplayer
2.
game.
Or pre-order it. Wait. Don't redeem your pre-order right away. Give it a day or two.
No.
Read the reviews. Watch some streams.
yeah.
Then go buy it or cancel your pre-order.
I
Yeah,
saw-
but then you don't get to play with your friends. You don't get to play with your friends. Come on.
Young people have nothing but time.
Or if you're a streamer and you need to play the flavor of the month game, so you get
right.
Like
all
Spool.
those
Like those
Cool.
Twitch subs. rah!
Well, it's funny. I see both sides of it. There's the don't pre-order crowd of like, don't pre-order, don't do it. And then Dying Light came out, and a lot of people were upset that there was no reviews, and they're only giving it to like Twitch streamers and like partners and doing this partner content. Same thing they did with Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Which is like, however you want to perceive that, that's one thing or another. But people were like, how do I know if I can buy this game or not? And it's like, maybe don't buy it.
It's probably not this.
You're fucked.
I think you have to examine the arrow to take the arrowhead off and then use it in another thing. I think you guys were right, actually. Because the arrowhead's green. They're trying to
examine.
draw your attention to it. I bet you can pop that arrowhead off.
Go to check.
Look at that.
Do it
All right.
now.
Put the key back.
Yeah, put the key back.
Do it now.
Oh man, we didn't have to free up inventory space. Fuck. No, whatever.
Resident Evil is a great franchise.
Man, it's so scary.
This game is 20 years
Tense.
old.
It really
It
is.
looks new though.
Sorry,
No, it's the remake. Another interesting comment on Batman and Robin.
That's stupid.
James Rayner kind of brought up an interesting point, which I never thought I'd say about Batman and Robin. He says, Batman and Robin to me is brilliant. I know it's not a good film per se. However, I was only 5 or 6 when I first watched it. So all the cheesy one-liners, cheap design, and poor scripting never fazed me. In fact, it probably made the film
truth bombs to drop on this guy.
more digestible and entertaining as a kid.
So many.
That said, everybody who was 15 plus at the time of the movie's release, I can see why they think it's awful.
Yeah.
It just really annoys me. It just really annoys me that people around my age, late teens and early 20s, can harp on how terrible it is when they could have watched it growing up.
Okay, James, here's the deal. As you grow up, I think you're probably, I want to say 17, 18, maybe a little older, you will notice that some content, whether or not it's movies, music, television, YouTube videos, whatever, have more time and more effort put into them, and you can tell because there's more detail. They feel either more produced, they're more funny. They sort of hit the right notes along the way. I know it sounds ridiculous because people in show business say you've got it, and I know it sounds fake. It sounds like a fake thing. It isn't. That is a real thing. People, it's like when you talk to your friends and there's one person in your group of friends that's funny.
Do I got it?
No. There's one person in your group of friends that's like, he's always hitting the right comedy timing. It's like James. And it's one of those things that you can see that they've got it. Now, here's the thing with Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, they put this movie together knowing it was going to be camping, knowing it was going to be for kids. I've heard the same excuses for Star Wars Episode 1 and Episode 2.
Yeah.
And Episode 3 too. That these movies are for kids. That doesn't make it a good movie. Just because they made it for a younger crowd doesn't make it a good movie. You know why? Because Pixar movies are made for younger crowds and for older crowds.
Boom.
So those movies are good for everyone. That is the hardest movie to make. That's the hardest movie to make, is a movie that is accessible to everybody and that everybody can agree is a good movie. And that's why I say, because I'm tired of hearing, well, Batman and Robin is good for this crowd, or this indie movie is good for this person.
It's good for people with developing brains.
I mean, and the thing is, it's not. Everybody knows that the Dark Knight is a good film for everyone. Everybody can see, whether or not they liked Batman or whether or not they liked the Joker or whatever. They can all see that it's a good. Yeah, they can.
Kids watch that?
I'm
Yes,
sure,
that's
Slam someone's head. And,
I'm sure. I'm sure there's some kid out there who's like, I like all the parts with Batman.
Of
and
course.
It's like,
but
other
then
parts with
5 years later, when he grows up, he's like, "Fuck, this movie's terrible." And
Dark
that's,
Knight?
And that's no. Sorry, Batman and Robin. And that's what I'm saying is that you sort of age out of these movies or television or whatever, and a good piece of film or movies or music you don't age out of. It's classic forever. And that is a good movie or good film.
Okay.
I can also say something else
you
to
go.
Bruce's
This is the
point.
gem, right?
I can say something else to Bruce's point.
All right.
The director and most of the people involved with the production of Batman and Robin, like the decision makers, George Clooney included, have all kind of been like, yeah, I don't know what happened. You can like it. You're more than welcome to like it, but
Sure, you can totally like it. I'm not saying your opinion's wrong.
they're just like, even the people involved are like, I don't know. Whatever.
Right.
Arnold, except for Arnold's the one that's like, yeah, I had some good one-liners.
Yeah, but he doesn't give a shit.
Well, the fact of the matter is, there are good one-liners in good movies, like Terminator 2. He has good one-liners in that movie. They're well placed. You're almost self-aware of those one-liners, and that is what makes those movies good. Is that they know what they are, and they know how to portray their vision in the right way that a lot of people like. Batman and Robin is just garbage.
Maybe the crest can go where the book is.
Batman Forever, though.
Batman Forever now, that's a different story.
That's a great movie. This is a really interesting topic. All right.
Man, someone's shouting outside.
This came from our subreddit. This is from Red Ramzor. He asks, is fame leeching okay? He writes, I recently released a joke trailer for a fictional game about Machinima Man. It has accumulated more views per day than any of the other content I have produced, albeit not much. Is it ethical to leech off the fame of other artists and content providers to build your own audience? This is a question I've been asking myself for a long time, starting with a remix of a song I did a few years back, and it is my most viewed product that I've ever produced. I see this all the time with clones of video games being produced, Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever, as well as people posting videos and clips showing or featuring other famous YouTubers. Is it acceptable to build your audience this way?
Someone had a great response to that I saw on that thread, and they were basically saying it depends on how much of your own work you put into it. Like if you're literally just like ripping and then like adding like a photo or something over it, or like some text, or even just sound effects. Like if you take it and make it your own, like if you're making that whole animated feature, like basically if you're showing off your talents or you have a talent that you're kind of putting into it, or even like just a straight up remix. If you're like, there's cuts all over and you're doing all kinds of things and pushes and whatever, that you made it your own, basically.
I think,
kind of agree with that.
just building on Spool's point, there is a way to make talent obvious. And if you are just doing some slapdash whatever thing,
Yeah, it won't work.
It's I don't know that it's necessarily leeching, but it's clear that you are just repurposing. And when you do something original, something cool, something new that showcases your abilities and how you've tied those abilities in, then most people, I think, will know that you have skills. You've chosen this medium to show off those skills, and there you go.
I was gonna say there's an example in that people, like for instance, people that do fan art of us, like really great fan art, like they're great artists regardless. We just happen to be the subject of their art. Like their talent is still great.
Well, I'll tie this back into Batman and Robin. And the reason I say that is because, like, for example, Batman and Robin had something to leech off of in terms of fame. They had Batman, and they could have easily made a giant movie out of, and they kind of did in the sense that they made a bunch of money the first weekend off this garbage movie, and that, in my opinion, would have been leeching. Now, there's another example of fame leeching, but that there's somebody that has talent, and it's the show Talk Soup or The Soup. That show is only repurposed clips of television. So they're leeching off these other ridiculous reality shows or whatever else, and they know that they have an audience. However, they have really funny writers, they have really funny producers, and a really funny host. And they are able to showcase their talents through making fun of those television shows, using those television shows. And it's the same with like original content that they produce. They produce sketches and things like that based on those, but they're really funny and they're talented, and they've figured out the right medium to do so. So the soup is leeching off those television shows, but in my opinion, they're making it so that I can actually watch those television shows, because I wouldn't watch them otherwise if they weren't on the soup.
Well, there you have it.
You're right, Bruce.
So that actually touches on an interesting question that factored in kind of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act, which is how much of another person's work can you use before it becomes like infringing? And it's a really tough subject. Musical artists like Girl Talk, and to a lesser extent like Daft Punk, will sample other records, and the song will basically be those samples with minimal production, but it's reorchestrated to make something new. And the proof of when you've crossed that threshold between repurposing something somebody else made and when that repurposing has its own value is really hard to define.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it is.
But to answer the question largely to the extent that he was asking, yes, it is. Your talent and your efforts have to be visible and have to be the reason anybody would watch that.
Yep, exactly.
All right, let's look at fan art.
Fan art, woo!
The coolest one is first. Eris
All
Rex.
right.
Wow.
I'm the coolest one this week?
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Gosh, it's
Is that
fun.
a sword? Oh,
Is
that's
that
the sword
Anakin's
from
outfit?
It's kind of Anakin's outfit, but it's also the sword from the Star Wars trailer.
the lightsaber.
Yeah, it's got some
Yeah.
exhaust on
Light
it.
sword.
And he gave me the Band-Aids on my face when
So
my
good.
face was all fucked up, which is fucking awesome.
You're all marved out.
So cool.
Man, you look so cool.
Such a good drawing.
And then Dora Effects
Oh, yeah.
made us a little angular pixel men.
Yeah, we gotta make that a little banner there.
Yeah, we do.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's
Nice.
real nice.
All identifiable. I love it when people draw Joel with a little trucker mustache.
Where me? Should sit in Adam's
Where
seat.
me?
We're doing fan art.
You dare.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it. Yeah,
Your gross little
I
mustache.
love those icons,
Those are nice.
except for my trucker stash.
Was it you that was saying that these would make
My
great
favorite.
lapel?
Yeah,
Yeah, lapel
little buttons. Yeah.
Little buttons.
I would only wear spool.
Garbear drew us as the cast of One Piece, which
Yeah.
only James
That's
could
what that
identify.
is.
That's for you.
Oh, I thought it was like a
This
Doctor
is,
Who.
he did a really good job picking us too, because I'm Luffy, obviously the captain.
course, I don't know.
Obviously.
Bruce is Frankie, who is like a cyborg man who's constantly shooting gas.
Oh.
He like drinks a lot, and he
Wow.
sometimes farts, and he sometimes shoots stuff out of his hands. Spool is Tony Chopper,
I've got, like,
who
a
is
little-
I don't know who that is.
a weepy little cryy little. He's kind of the chibi member of the group.
Okay.
Adam is Zoro or Zolo,
Okay.
depending on which version you're reading.
Ooh.
Who is the samurai? He's kind of the lone. He's always kind of lone samurai. Lawrence is Sanji, who's the ladies' man and cook.
Lawrence.
Not sure about that.
It's the smirk is
I got my
really what
fault.
seals it. And Joel is fuck.
Oh.
Okay, so in James's credit,
Sorry.
he rattled it off perfectly before when I was puzzling at this. So it's not that he doesn't know. He just
He's a skeleton
camera's on.
man. Fuck. Why
So he's got a sweet
It's all
cane.
right.
That's-
Joel's a woman. Whatever.
he's got bell bottoms, a cane, and he's sipping tea.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just
That
like
makes perfect for Joel.
JD595 drew Pekovic.
That's a really good Pico.
Yeah, it's nice.
Probably the best Pekovic we've
That's,
seen.
Yeah.
Ah!
Needs to frame that.
Oh, boy.
Man, sorry. Scroll bar mishap. Sayayai drew a Bruce Tim Kovic, which is sad that he's not here to see this. But
That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't know it was a Bruce Timkovic. Okay. All right.
I also like that somehow they captured his like emotionless
Brooke.
stare.
Nice job. Good job, buddy.
Brooke.
Good job.
No, to come back eventually. The Zero Warrior drew little anime All of Us, I guess.
Oh, that's from
It's from Smash Brothers, with the exception of Miku, who's not in Smash Brothers, but I'm Miku.
Oh boy, big mistake.
I'm Jigglypuff.
I like how
Jigglypuff.
I'm the villager.
Joel's Wii Fit trainer, which is wonderful.
come on, what are you doing,
He got
dude?
a nice swan pose going on. And then James is Shulk. What your weird little
Lame.
Shulk is the best.
Lame.
Did you play as Shulk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh, he
did.
did.
Remember? He's like, my favorite Nintendo character, Shulk.
Shulk
Yeah.
has
I made the joke.
costume where he's shirtless. He looks like a
His
little
swimming
boy.
Trunks. He is a little boy. The
He
Eric
looks like one,
Cerna
too.
Oh, hey.
depicted the IG trio.
He drew our little shirts.
Ah, he did.
It's fun.
Those look like Stargate symbols.
Wait, I thought me, Phil, and Matt Peak were the IG trio.
You're
are.
second line.
Oh,
Here,
second.
IG Trio B.
Oh, wow, how about
B
that?
squad.
Spool, how's that feel?
Once James pulls a
I'm the
hammy,
C
you're in.
squad.
This pulls a C squad.
I know. I guess this is just embellishment up here, or it's some alternative language that the Erics are not
It's
inventing.
Stargate language,
symbols.
yeah.
That's right.
James Spader can speak it.
Death Lotus at DeviantArt drew us as animals.
That's really scary.
Yes.
I love Adam's face.
Why does
That's a good
James
one.
have green hair?
Why not?
He's the Joker?
Oh.
They all have green hair.
Yeah.
You know what? I wonder if that's kind of a holdover from the green screen pictures we use, where there might be a green tint to our hair, and he just ran with it. I don't know. Who knows?
Is this mic on? This one right here?
Yeah,
How about that?
it's pointed this way though.
You're going to
so-
talk the other side.
Hello!
No, the other side of
Doesn't
the
work.
door.
Hello.
It's supposed to capture me, but it still doesn't do a great job at that, considering I'm talking this way. Hi Zeal, our good friend DeviantArt, drew Joel as Misfortune.
It doesn't look a ton like me.
Yes,
What?
Yeah, it does.
It's identical to you.
But I fucking love it. It's probably it is one of my top 5 pieces of fan art that we've gotten for me.
Look at those puffy shirt sleeves.
I know.
I love it.
She's beautiful. I'm beautiful.
Brazilian.
Misfortune
Is that a
is
she
beautiful.
or a he?
Well, Misfortune is me.
Misfortune's
Oh, your hat's got a little J on it.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah,
look
for
at
Joel.
that. Look at that.
J
For pirate.
You're just having such a good time on the high
Because
seas.
sometimes we get fan art and it's just like a traced over picture or
Nope,
something.
that's
This is all original.
That's original.
It's beautiful.
Well, High Zeal's always done the amazing stuff. He did our Game On poster,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
which is still gracing the
Do you
walls.
really have that tattoo?
Yeah.
The little anchor says IG on it.
Yeah.
Juan P. Massa drew The Most Amazing Thing.
Oh yeah, Totoro.
yeah.
My neighbor, my Inside Gaming neighbor, part 2, was flying high over Los Angeles.
I've messaged him about getting a physical copy of this, but the countries he's in limits his ability to
right.
put art up and stuff. So,
Can you send us the raw image and then we'll...
yeah, I just want to compensate him for this.
Yeah, well, you tweeted out, like, anyone want an IG, like, animated IG or something
Yeah.
like
It's
this?
so great.
Art
You got
director.
so many tweets and favorites and stuff.
Well, if
People
you
want
live in
it.
Argentina, please give Juan P. Massa your business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently no one else can. Thanks, trade embargoes. Orange Buster at DeviantArt drew
It's
who?
Venezuela. Is it Argentina?
It doesn't matter.
That was Argentina.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Killed you.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a fart.
How did that even happen?
Of course you're
I didn't realize but I am the fart.
Yeah, you're like a genie coming out of Adam's butt.
There's an episode of Ren and Stimpy where he farted, and he let his fart leave, and the episode follows the fart going in the rain, and Stimpy is really worried about him, and
remember
Ren
this.
tells him to get over it.
That sounds amazing.
But it's just a really sad one.
That sounds amazing.
Well, James, you're crying, I think.
That's because I farted on him.
Yeah. I'm not happy
Sad
about
about
it.
all that Adam gas, or Bruce gas.
Bruce
getting
Gas,
out.
yeah.
Robbie McSweeney drew a really
boy,
cool Adam
yeah.
portrait.
Oh, I just noticed the bat.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
really
bat symbol.
cool.
He's got that cool eye scar.
It's like Game of Thrones.
It's like a weird
Yeah.
little... Oh,
We
there's
need-
oh my god, there's a Pikachu head on the hilt of his sword.
We need people
Jesus
to design costumes like this and send it to us.
Just send his plate
Turning
mail.
into
Costs a
the
lot of money.
Joker.
That can't cost that much, can it?
Oh, you drew this in class, right?
Reddit user, yeah, AGPS 118.
Wow, it's like...
Drew...
I know exactly what shirt
Yeah, right.
Lawrence is wearing.
Yeah, the Planets shirt. Drew the Insect Game podcast. I just like how we're all kind of...
Look at Spool looks like a specter of death or something.
You know what he looks like? He looks like one of the stand-ups in the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album cover.
Yeah, he does. Oh, gosh.
It's really scary.
Ugh, I
like-
love it.
I like
I
those
love all these
faces, though.
expressions.
Adam's got his arms crossed.
Reminds me
You
of-
and I have you Lawrence and I all have weird like detail in our face, whereas Adam and Spool are kind of more just like
Spool
caricatures.
doesn't have pupils.
I know.
He's been
I know, my
possessed.
eyes
Black
are just
eyes of
black.
Spool, like a shark.
Then Adam's chin is trying to escape his face. Wonderful.
I'm in for the end.
Hooray!
Show him the fan art of me with my shirt off.
Okay.
Nope,
No,
down.
No, not that one. The other one. There we go.
Battery powered swag.
Holy
Drew a few
shit.
images. There's Action Bruce, an eye patch. There's Adam Stoic, which is my favorite. And then there's Cute Me. Too.
Oh yeah. That's
I
really
wish I
good.
looked that cute in real life.
You need a larger shirt with a larger neck hole.
I do. Just
That's what you need.
Out to my shoulders.
I want traps like that. Those are amazing.
We all
Your
do.
glasses need to be a lot
God damn it.
bigger, too.
I need big anime glasses.
Curse
yeah.
my broad shoulders.
Cyber Ghost Drew Spool.
Oh yeah, it's
Hold on.
I'm everybody's hero.
I've seen this picture before when it was uncolored, and I told him then, I was like, it looks like I'm almost like Bobby Hill.
Yeah,
I can see that.
So I gotta
a little
zoom-
bit more of a gut.
Gotta zoom this one in because I really like Spool's eyes.
Oh yeah, he's super
Yeah,
high.
Hey,
totally stoned.
He's just derped out.
Totally stumped.
This bristly little mustache. I love it. Reddit user Fleuron has always been awesome with the fan art, and he did our
Oh man.
our trio of GTA mascots.
Awesome.
So wonderful.
So, it's so good. Kuntz, Poons, and
R&B Coons.
No name. I don't even know.
I don't know what his name
Oh,
was.
Gomp. That's his name.
Gomp.
Yeah. Well,
Hump?
I don't remember. James touched my yams. Drew,
That's not true.
You're Joel.
You drew the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, that guy.
Whoa.
Suspicious Joel.
Definitely plotting something.
Wait, how do we know that's Joel?
I'm not
Oh, wow.
He goes like this.
It's like a cartoon is talking to me. And then there's that.
Joel, have you ever had a Monte Cristo like beard and mustache? Like,
No, but I've had a Monte Cristo sandwich.
Move on to the next
Ooh,
one.
delicious.
Kung Fu Human did Guardians of the Gaming.
Oh, yeah. I love that I'm fucking, what's his name? Batista.
I thought for sure I would have been Rocket.
Drax.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you should have been.
I still have like a sexy
And Spool would
lady's
be
lower
Groot
half.
because he loves trees.
I'd volunteer.
I like how James, he drew that like smirk face you make.
It's that picture of me.
Yeah.
You're hot. You are super hot.
Thank you. That's right.
Nice body.
Good job.
And then Reddit user Marshall Rauer
Oh, boy.
drew the IG boys.
Yeah.
He needs some help with Photoshop there.
Yeah.
No.
Just so everyone knows, if you Google, I think it's like, what was it? Bathroom, what did I say? Spa bath? Steam bath. Steam room? If you Google steam room,
No, don't do it.
and then you scroll down far enough, there's a picture of, it's a drawn picture
Don't-
of 4 blonde dudes sucking each other off.
All right, okay. I don't
Just Photoshop us onto that one.
talk about fan art.
James likes to send me those things and has me put them on the big screen. So
And
that
I go,
everyone can see
Adam,
them.
what are you doing?
Move
Yeah.
on to the usual suspects.
Reddit user Sando, drew us as the usual suspects.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if he drew us.
Sorry, yeah,
Much as he
Photoshop.
Photoshopped our
Photoshopped
faces on, like,
Some of them are really good. Some of them are.
Questionable.
Kaiser Sose.
You are. I mean, well,
Lawrence?
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
it's
unquestionably.
Oh yeah, Spool.
Spool's,
No, you're right.
Spool's
Yeah.
verbal.
I'm
And I'm the cop who's taking the picture.
Gabriel Bryn.
You have that lighting really low. Look how big our shadows are.
what else? What else do we have?
Let's see here. And then lastly, as we previously mentioned, we've got Machinima Man, the game, the trailer of the game.
Is this the one that stars Adam as Machinima Man?
No, it doesn't really star anybody. It's mostly just.
I think it stars Adam as Machinima
might be.
Oh yeah, it does. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, this, yeah.
Well, we were
3D graphics.
James and I were pointing out. We're like, wow, he put a lot of time in this, and he got the wrong person as Machinima Man.
Well, whatever.
No, but I emphasize to you that Machinima Man is an idea.
Oh,
He's
that's
not a
true.
person.
He's a symbol.
He's a symbol.
Any of us could be Machinima Man.
Machinima Man became like a meme, which is hilarious, but I don't think anyone quite understands it.
Where it came from.
Also,
We all know where it came from.
Nobody else at this company.
It's also misspelled. That's true.
Nobody
It's a
else,
beta. It's a beta. It's a beta trailer.
Yeah, it's a trailer.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
No one at this company knows what Machinima Man
Yes.
is, yet they
Even though
made it.
it's like the official Twitter background for the Machinima Twitter account.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Heroes
Oh, man, you're getting
rise.
there.
All right, we did it. We made it to the end.
man.
Before we go, we've got one more. Oh, that's painful.
Working out those knots.
Thanks for the
Real stressed out.
thanks for the donuts, Joe.
Well, I have to sit without a back, so my back tenses up when I'm in the stool for an hour.
Ew.
Yeah.
Getting real tight.
Do it! Hurry up! I gotta ask you stuff.
Okay.
Blood Brothers 2 is an action-packed dark fantasy role-playing game available now for free on Apple and Android devices. Team up with your friends to establish guilds to work together to destroy your enemies in real-time synchronous player versus player mode. In campaign, strengthen your armies by strategically training, customizing weapons, and mastering new skills to take on more challenging enemies. I've been playing it a little bit. It reminds me of the Conquest game on the 3DS. Rock, paper, scissors. Cool art, pretty sweet. Blood Brothers 2 offers limitless amount of choices to customize your army and story to shape your gameplay experience. Check out Blood Brothers 2, that's the number 2.com for more information, or visit the App Store or Google Play now to download Blood Brothers 2
Did it.
for free. It's a bit of a stumble, but I got it. Thank you, Blood Brothers, for your sponsorship. Thank you, audience, from the bottom of our heart.
Thank you.
That's a wrap!
For listening to Inside Gaming Podcast. We're
We're
gonna,
gone!
we're
Yeah.
gonna go get drunk.
That was,
Bye,
wait,
guys.
I mean, here's kind of a. I mean, this is the last one on the channel, right?
Yeah.
Of us?
Yep.
Just because you missed 20 minutes of the podcast doesn't mean we need to sit
I had to take a
take
phone
around.
call. I'm sorry. Actually, I do want to say because a lot of you were asking, like, why haven't you guys been live streaming and all that stuff? Now you know why.
That's why.
This has been, obviously in the making for a little while, but if you enjoyed this stuff here, expect much more of it down the line. If you like us as personalities, just stick with us. And
What if
we'll
you
see
only like
guys
some
soon.
of us?
Well,
I'm asking for myself.
Who wouldn't they like?
Block the ones you don't
Don't
like.
watch it anymore.
follow them, and hopefully they'll do more stuff on their own personal channel.
Yeah.
James.
Well, we individually are going to keep doing stuff just in the meantime because we like playing games.
Totally.
But, follow us on Twitter for
Yeah.
updates about what this team will be doing in the future.
Yeah, I think we have some fun stuff lined up, so I think you guys are gonna like it. Be good. But thank you so much for everything,
bye.
for making this channel a success.
See you later.
Bye.
We have other work to do.
We work hard for you guys because we love you. Thank
We
you.
love.
Bye.
Podcast and now.
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 Bye.